So you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, Nevada, and visiting just isn't quite cutting the mustard on knowing the pros and cons about living here. So I made this video just for you guys who are thinking about moving here to Vegas, but need a little bit more information before making that decision. There are so many cool things about living in Vegas that I couldn't even imagine were going to be available to us back when I was a kid growing up. So instead of just taking my perspective from the pros and cons of living here, I also went out and talked to a bunch of my friends who are active members of the community to see what they also had to say. So that way you're not just getting my perspective, but the perspective from other people who also live here every single day of their lives. I'm probably going to share a little bit too much information now, but I actually grew up here back in the 70s, and I have watched this city grow into such an amazing place over the years, and I'm really proud to call this place home now. Of course though, just like anything that has good things, there are also bad things. And my goal is to always share with you the most transparent things about living in Vegas or the market or whatever I'm sharing with you. And so I'm also going to break down the not so good things about living here as well. So before I get into the pros and cons, if you were to ask me what are the top 3 things that make Vegas a really cool place to live that no one would really imagine would be true to living in Las Vegas, I would have to say that the first thing is that just 30 minutes away from most places in the Las Vegas Valley, you can actually go skiing and snowboarding at Lee Canyon Ski and Snowboard Resort. Back in the day when I was young, I can remember the little lodge up there was not so nice. There were a lot of times where even when I was skiing, I'd have to go to my car to eat lunch because the facility was so small and the food was less than to be desired. But Park City actually came in and purchased our resort and revamped it, and the new lodge up there is absolutely amazing. The runs are better, there's better lifts. So that would have to be the number one thing that I think people find really interesting about Vegas. The second thing I think most people find amazing about Las Vegas is that we actually have a community of equestrian riders. A lot of times when people find out that I ride a horse, they actually are really surprised and they look at me very puzzled. And they inevitably ask this question, oh wow, does your horse live in your backyard? And it kind of goes along with that whole theory that, you know, people who live in Las Vegas actually don't live in homes, we all live in casinos. So a lot of people don't realize that we do actually have outdoor activities such as horseback riding around the valley. We actually have several boarding facilities surrounding the Las Vegas Valley. You will have to drive a little bit to get there, but we have facilities that cater to dressage riding. We have facilities that cater more to hunters and jumpers, and even barrel racing out here. So we do have a wide array of equestrian facilities that specialize in all kinds of different riding. So in order to ride my horse, I actually have to travel about 30 minutes away from my home, which kind of sucks. All of the boarding facilities do happen to be on the outskirts of town, as you could imagine. So from Summerlin, I take the 215 and I exit on Jones. Out here is where many of the boarding facilities are. Actually, the majority of boarding facilities are out in the northwest. There are also another group of boarding facilities out off of I-15 and Blue Diamond Road. The third most unknown thing is that here in Las Vegas, we get to watch some of the most amazing sunsets. I don't know if you know this about me, but I love sunsets. I will chase a sunset if it's the last thing I do. So here, I don't know what it is about the sky and what makes it all come together, but our sunsets get a mix of red orange and blue all together in one scene, and it is just breathtaking. I know that I just basically gave you a bunch of pros and cons in my 3 unknown great things about Vegas, but I still want to be sure to break down 5 pros and 5 cons about living here in the Vegas Valley. The first pro is that there is always something to do. We are the city that never sleeps. So there are 24-hour everything. We have 24-hour grocery stores, we have 24-hour convenience stores, 24-hour gas stations, 24-hour gyms, and of course, we have 24-hour casinos as well. So as you can see, no matter what time of day it is, you can basically jump up and decide to go meet your friends for a late night karaoke session. You can go have some sushi, or you can even go work out in the middle of the night here in Vegas. This was definitely something for me to get used to when I left Vegas for a couple years, because I would go to pump gas and gas pumps would be shut down at 10 p.m. Or if you want to get a late night snack from a convenience store, again, shut down at 10 p.m. So it's definitely a plus that no matter what time of day you want to do something, you can just pick your time and do it here. The second pro is that we have so much great shopping, dining, and nightlife, which can also be a con because all of that shopping happens to be down on the Strip. And we as locals don't necessarily like to go down on the Strip, at least I don't. I don't like to have to go to the Strip to buy my outfit for Friday night and have to go back to the Strip to actually have my night out. So it would be nice if we had some high-end retail shops outside of the Strip, but right now we don't, and I love to take advantage of all the shopping that we do have down there. We also have lots of dining on the Strip and also off the Strip, because I don't know if you know this, but a lot of those restaurants on the Strip have chefs that sometimes will leave the restaurant that they're at and come out into like the Summerlin area or the Green Valley area and open their own restaurant. So we get to take advantage of all of that out here in the suburbs as well. For example, there was a Nobu chef I know that opened a restaurant here in Summerlin that I actually love going to. It's called Sen of Japan. So it's like you get to enjoy Nobu bites, but without the Nobu experience or having to drive all the way to the Strip, which is really good when you're a local. Some of the best places to shop for those luxury items would be the shops at Crystals, which is right in front of the Aria, and there are also shops now at Wynn and Encore. I personally prefer to shop at Wynn and Encore because there are less crowds and it's very easy to maneuver from the parking garage or valet. I can just blow in, grab what I need, and blow right out. So I tend to prefer to shop at Wynn or Encore, but sometimes, you know, I have to go to Crystals or even the Forum shops and the shops at the Grand Canal in the Venetian. Vegas is also home to some of the best nightlife. We have nightclubs all over the Strip, and they are regularly featuring some of the best DJs in the industry. The third pro is that once you move to Vegas, everyone is going to want to stay with you. So in my opinion, if you're moving to Vegas and you're going to buy a house, make sure you have a guest room, because your friends and family are going to come out of the woodwork to come visit you. You will see people probably that you haven't seen in so many years and you didn't even know cared about you anymore, because once they find out you live here, they're definitely gonna come visit you. Pro number 4 is that the state of Nevada does not have state income tax. This is a huge pro. So I have actually talked to people who have moved here from other states, and I've heard people paying as much as a small starter home cost here in Las Vegas for their income tax in those other states. So the fact that we do not have an income tax is a huge pro for all of you guys that move here. We also do not have a corporate tax, which means you can start your business here for a lower cost than other places, and you will not be taxed on those proceeds. So the fact that we don't have a Nevada state income tax also means that you have one less return to file every year. Our real estate tax is also relatively low here compared to other places. Here in Vegas, assessors will reappraise your property at least once every 5 years, and they base your taxes on the market value of your property plus any structural upgrades you have as well. Here in Vegas, we actually have the ability to do a 3% tax cap on our primary residence, and I believe it's up to a 7% tax cap on any secondary home you may have here. Pro number 5, and my last pro, is that we are the entertainment capital of the world, and we have so much entertainment at our fingertips. We have residencies featuring some of the biggest names in music, such as Silk Sonic, Gwen Stefani, Celine Dion, just to name a few. And we always have running shows on the Strip, such as Mad Apple, O, and Absinthe, again, just to name a few, because there's so many, I can't even name them all. But there is a show for anyone's liking on any given day of the week on the Las Vegas Strip that you can take advantage of as a local. We also have the Smith Center now, which is a performing arts center that features live music, dance, and theater performances on a regular basis. At the Smith Center, they also have Myron's Jazz Cabaret, which, like in the name, features jazz cabaret style music, and they serve dinner and drinks as well. It's a really cool place, and it's something very special that Vegas has never had anything like in the past, and something that I never thought I would ever see come to fruition as a child. We actually now have several professional sports teams that you can take advantage of almost any time of year now that we have, I want to say, a team for almost every sport. We are missing basketball, but I hear that's probably on its way. So we now have Vegas Golden Knights, who actually broke the ice in coming here as a professional sports team. We have the Las Vegas Silver Knights, which is our minor league hockey team. We have the Las Vegas Aviators, which is our minor league baseball team. We have the Las Vegas Raiders, which is our NFL team. We have the Las Vegas Aces, which is our WNBA team. We now have the Las Vegas Desert Dogs, which is our professional lacrosse team. We have the Las Vegas Lights, which is a professional soccer team. And we even have a professional volleyball team. I was shocked about that when I was looking at all of the different teams that we have when I was doing the research for making the video. I was really surprised. We have a professional volleyball team. Pretty cool. So Vegas definitely has some sporting events that you can attend any time of the year, and it's really exciting for all of us locals. We love it. It brings us all together. There's definitely a community amongst all of us when we're there. You can just feel it, you can see it, the energy is there, and it's a really cool place to even hang out with your friends, which ends up happening quite a bit at the hockey and football games. And I guess I should mention that Vegas does it right when they build these stadiums for their teams. From T-Mobile, which is where the Vegas Golden Knights play, to Allegiant Stadium, which is where the Raiders play, and the Las Vegas Ballpark, which is where the Aviators play, all are known as the best stadiums for each of those sports out there. So when you go to a Vegas game, get ready to do it up right, because we know how to make those stadiums more exciting for each of you guys to enjoy. So before I move on to my cons, let me introduce myself. My name is Lisa Lopez, and I'm actually a local resident here for my whole life, and I specialize in luxury real estate, and I have a passion of helping busy families just like you achieve the American dream of home ownership. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel for more videos about real estate and the Las Vegas area. All right, let's move on to some of the things I find can be negative about living in Vegas. My first con to living in Vegas is actually my third pro to living in Las Vegas, and that is that all of your friends and family will want to come and visit you. I promise you, when you move here, you will start seeing that you'll have people wanting to visit you that never wanted to visit you when you lived somewhere else. So it definitely can be a con if you don't like to have house guests, and if you don't like to have to traipse them throughout the Vegas Valley, showing them the Strip and all the things that it has to offer. Second con to living in Las Vegas is that it is hot and it's dry. So if you're moving here, make sure you stock up on all your shorts, tank tops, flip-flops, chapstick, and lotion, because you will need it all. Because it is hot and dry here, and I don't care what anyone says, you never get used to the heat. I've been here my entire life, and I swear, instead of getting used to the heat, I feel like I'm getting more intolerable to the heat. I don't know if it was just cooler when I was younger, or maybe I was just too young and dumb and the heat didn't bother me, but now I will tell you, it's hot. In the summer months, I definitely spend a lot of time in my pool, and when I do go out to ride my horse or do any other outdoor activities, I try to get out there by 5 or 5:30 in the morning to avoid that extreme heat. Most of us who live here do try to stay inside in the AC in those hot summer months, especially July and August. I'm gonna give you a pro tip here. I don't buy any car unless it has remote start. And if it doesn't, I have it added aftermarket. Having remote start here can really be helpful, especially if you're in and out of your car a lot like I am when I'm showing homes, because your car sometimes can get up to 130 degrees inside the cabin. And if you're going in and out, it will never have the chance to cool down. So I like to leave my car running when I'm going into the grocery store really quick, or like I said, when I'm showing homes and I'm in and out of my car. It's just a really nice thing to have when you live here in the desert. We also basically only have 2 seasons a year: winter and summer. Although our winters can be very mild most times, it actually does snow here in Las Vegas, and I mean in the actual valley of Las Vegas, not just the mountains. So we do get cold at times, but I don't know if this is a con or a pro. I guess it's kind of personal preference, but there are some Christmases that you can actually wear shorts and go outside like that. So our winters are definitely mild for the most part. The third con I'm going to mention can be controversial, but I feel I have to mention it. If you are one who tends to have an addictive personality, Vegas may not be the best place for you to live. Vegas has a vice for just about every addiction out there. So if this is you, I highly recommend you do a very deep thought process on whether or not Vegas is the right place for you to call home. And remember, you're going to have access to those vices 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I highly recommend that before making the decision that you talk this through with your family members and friends, just because I've seen so many people move here and end up in a really bad situation. It's just too easy to fall in too deep really fast. The fourth con is the orange cone. There's actually a joke that our state flower is the orange cone. It actually is the sagebrush, but we have orange cones around Vegas all the time. I actually did a reel on this on Instagram that you'll see orange cones along the road and no construction. But Vegas is always trying to improve upon our infrastructure and add to it. So we are always under construction, and a lot of times it seems like the cones are out there for no apparent reason. Our fifth con shamefully cannot be ignored. The school system in Las Vegas definitely needs some work. Even though our casinos have always and still do pay a tax that is supposed to go to the education system in our city, we are shamefully ranked the second worst district in the nation. Although our school district is constantly trying to find ways to better the system, we we continue to fail miserably. We do have some 5-star public schools out there, and that's why it's really important, if you are looking to buy here and you will have school-age children, that you do your homework and you buy your house within the schools that you want to be in, zoned area. There are such things as zone variances, but I will let you know now, they are hard to get. I don't care what anyone tells you, they are not easy to get a zone variance, and once you get it, you're not guaranteed to have it year after year. You have to reapply every single year. So your child who may get a zone variance for the school you want them to be in may have to switch mid-schooling, like mid-high school, to be able to finish their schooling. So really look into this. It's very important because we are having issues in our public school system. We do have several very high-rated private schools, but I know not everybody can afford private, and not everybody wants to drive the distance to go to a private school. So make sure you do your homework when looking into this part of moving. So that's my take on the pros and cons to living in Las Vegas. I hope you found this video informative, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell to get notified every time I drop a new video. If you have any questions about the Las Vegas area or just want to connect, make sure to give me a call or text me. All of my information will be in the description below. Until next time, see you again.